If you do that one more time, I will have you removed from this courtroom.
Your job is to cure diseases, not to review medical records like a detective and fabricate theories. You should be a private investigator, not a doctor, you damn old man!
This case, one that even now sends a chill down my spine every time I recall it. It involved Benjamin and his tiny daughter, so Ellie. And what I saw shook the nation, and I believe it will forever haunt the conscience of many. Benjamin was hailed by society as a great father, an icon of paternal devotion. News channels and social media were flooded with images of him spending sleepless nights by his daughter's hospital bed, videos of him gently stroking Ellie's thinning hair, his eyes filled with tears yet radiating resilience. Millions of dollars poured into Ellie's treatment fund from all corners of the globe. People believed. They believed absolutely in the goodness, in the boundless love of a father for his sick child. Even I, a perennial skeptic, had moments where I wondered, could such noble paternal love truly exist? But then questions began to emerge right there in the courtroom, small cracks in that perfect facade. And the first to expose them was Ellie's grandmother, Gwen. She was the one who brought this case to trial. As she stepped onto the witness stand, I could see the profound sorrow, the indignation, but above all, a crushing fear in that elderly woman's eyes. Gwen didn't mince words. She spoke directly, and I remember every single one of them, her voice cutting through the courtroom's tense air. Your Honor, Benjamin, he poisoned my granddaughter! He killed Ellie for money! At that, the courtroom erupted for a moment. Benjamin sat there, his face expressionless, even allowing a faint smirk. He responded calmly, yet defiantly, to nonsense.
Nonsense. You're old and confused, ma'am. You're slandering me. How could a mother-in-law ever understand the sacrifice of a single father?
But Judge Helen Carter, a sharp and uncompromising woman, quickly quelled the uproar with a resounding bang of her gavel. Gwen continued her testimony, her voice trembling but resolute. I've known Ellie since she was born. She was frail, yes, but never to the extent of what she endured in her final years. Every time I saw her seem to get better, Benjamin would give her something. He called it special tonic. And then, just days later, her condition would rapidly worsen. She'd cough up blood. She couldn't breathe. It was a relentless, inescapable cycle. She presented photos of Ellie, pictures where the child still smiled, followed by devastating images of her emaciated state. Benjamin sat there, still shaking his head, murmuring that these were just coincidences. He even let out a small, knowing chuckle, as if to say, she's so naive. Gwen also made it clear that Benjamin had completely isolated Ellie. He wouldn't allow anyone, not even her grandmother, near the child when he wasn't present. Anyone who harbored doubts or suggested alternative treatments was publicly slandered and smeared on social media, becoming an enemy of the great single father. Public trust, at that time, was Benjamin's most potent weapon. Right then, Benjamin yelled, his voice full of contempt and anger.
You're the one who needed to stay away from her. You always ruined everything. She was my child, and I knew what was best for her, not you.
Judge Carter immediately demanded Benjamin calm down, her gaze fixed on him, stern and unwavering. The turning point of the trial came with the testimony of our Dr. Peter, Ellie's primary physician for many years. As he stepped onto the witness stand, I noticed the caution, even fear, in the eyes of an experienced medical professional. Dr. Peter, after being reassured by Judge Carter, took a deep breath and began to reveal the truth. He said, I had my suspicions for a long time, Your Honor. Ellie's medical records showed a very unusual pattern of illness. Every time we were close to finding an effective treatment protocol, or when the child's condition showed signs of improvement, a new flare-up would immediately occur. Her lab results would inexplicably worsen. Benjamin's sarcastic remark,
Your job is to cure diseases, not to review medical records like a detective and fabricate theories. You should be a private investigator, not a doctor, you damn old man!
Judge Carter immediately pounded her gavel and had to warn Benjamin.
Maintain proper decorum, Mr. Benjamin. If you do that one more time, I will have you removed from this courtroom.
And then Dr. Peter presented undeniable evidence. He spoke in a near whisper, yet loud enough for the entire courtroom to hear, each word a direct stab at Benjamin. We secretly tested old hair samples from Ellie and found traces of thallium, a small dose not immediately lethal, but enough to weaken the immune system, cause organ damage, and maintain a chronic state of illness. These symptoms perfectly matched what Ellie had experienced for years. At this, the courtroom fell silent. Benjamin remained seated, showing no remorse or fear. He merely smirked, uttering a cold, sarcastic remark of thallium. I know nothing about it. The hospital or someone else must have tampered with the results to frame me. Thallium is not found in ordinary vitamins. It is a poison. Clearly, Benjamin had not merely exploited his daughter's illness, he had deliberately caused and perpetuated it. Doctor? Peter also confirmed that Benjamin consistently refused further specialized tests proposed by the hospital, always citing not wanting the child to suffer more pain. Judge Carter continued to probe Benjamin's motives. She requested bank statements and images of his lifestyle to be projected. I vividly recall Judge Carter glaring at Benjamin as she posed her question, her voice beginning to deepen, signaling mounting anger. To Mr. Benjamin, you were hailed across the world as a model father. Millions of dollars poured into your account. Yet, sir, your bank statements show lavish expenditures at casinos, luxury brand stores, expensive trips, all while your daughter was wasting away in a hospital bed. Do you have any explanation for this? Benjamin responded casually, as if discussing the weather, even shrugging his shoulders. Yes, I'm human too. I'm entitled to my privacy. The donated money was mine. I have the right to use it as I see fit. Don't judge me! Or are you simply jealous of my popularity? A Judge Carter retorted with a cold and contemptuous tone, but her composure began to crack. Depression, when your daughter was on her deathbed and you were buying yachts and gambling. That's ludicrous! And then the prosecution introduced the final, shocking piece of evidence, sending shivers down everyone's spines. When Ellie was in critical condition, Benjamin launched a massive fundraising campaign for Az's breakthrough surgery abroad, or Az's final miraculous cure. He appeared on television, tears in his eyes, making one last plea to the community. The donations peaked during that period, but the sickening truth, as the prosecution revealed, was that Benjamin knew perfectly well the surgery would fail. Or worse, he had secretly ensured its failure. It was merely a final act, a last performance to completely drain the public's compassion. At this point, Judge Carter could no longer maintain her composure. She slammed her gavel so hard the entire courtroom flinched, and her voice thundered with rage, practically screaming at Benjamin. He turned his child's suffering into an ATM. He is not a father. He is a monster. Mr. Benjamin, did you see your daughter's face when she tried to smile for your camera? Did you see her eyes? They were pleading for life, while you, her father, were slowly choking it out of her to fill your pockets. Do you have any idea what you're doing? Her final question echoed, filled with despair and fury. Benjamin remained seated, his gaze empty, showing no emotion whatsoever. He merely gave a slight shrug, as if all the accusations were trivial matters. After Judge Carter's outburst, she regained her composure, but her face remained flushed with anger. Finally, she delivered her verdict. She stood, her gaze sweeping over Benjamin and Gwen, and her voice, though calmer, was still cold and unyielding, resounding through the courtroom. Mr. Benjamin, you are not a model father. You are an abuser, a ruthless fraudster who destroyed the life of an innocent child. This case will be transferred to the prosecution for criminal charges of murder and child abuse. Benjamin stood up, a strange, enigmatic smile forming on his lips. Then he turned and walked away without uttering another word. No cries of protest, no tears of remorse. His chilling composure horrified me more than any desperate plea could have. As he exited the courthouse, he actually waved to the crowd, a cold smile on his face, as if he had done nothing wrong. However, the most disturbing part didn't end there. Even after the truth had been clearly revealed, after the medical evidence spoke for itself, and even after Benjamin's arrest, a segment of the public stubbornly defended him. I stood outside the courthouse, witnessing the chaotic scene. Thus, reporters and protesters swarmed Judge Carter as soon as she emerged. Microphones were shoved towards her. Questions fired relentlessly. Your Honor, are you trying to destroy a hero's image? The enraged, frenzied crowd chanted, "Ours, they're hurting a father who lost his child." They had believed too deeply, too completely manipulated by the crocodile tears and perfectly crafted tragic stories. Benjamin's case ended with his arrest, but it left a profound societal debate in its wake. It raised questions about public gullibility, about the limits of compassion, and whether we should ever place absolute trust in anyone based solely on appearances or meticulously fabricated narratives. Ellie is gone, but her story and the truth behind her death will forever serve as a stark reminder. Be cautious of what you see, of what you hear, because trust can be a double-edged sword, and sometimes it can kill the truth.